Let's talk for a minute about what trauma is. I think people sometimes get confused by the word trauma. I've had many clients who think, well, I haven't had any trauma, because they're thinking of something major, maybe physical abuse as a child, or sexual assault, or having gone through a natural disaster. Yes, all of those things are traumatizing, but there are many other traumas that we endure in our life. And if we start thinking of trauma as just negative events that happen to us that are so overwhelming, we can't process them in a way that makes sense to us. And instead, our brain processes it and encodes it in memory in a way that gives us beliefs about ourselves that are negative and irrational. And maybe we've linked an emotional response to that particular event and then a behavioral response along with it. Phobias are a classic example of how something that is a minor trauma, like falling off a slide when you're 5 years old. And then later in life, you have a fear of heights. And it's because your brain linked together that trauma of falling off of a slide with that sense of fear and the fear that something really bad's going to happen. And then along with it is that physical reaction that was linked with it at the time. Maybe holding your breath, not being able to breathe, feeling sick to your stomach. And then later in life, when you're just standing on the balcony of a 10th floor apartment building, and you have the sense that you're going to fall and that you're in danger. You're not, but your brain's reacting that way because it's bringing up that old memory, that negative event that was so overwhelming that you didn't process it in an adaptive way. And now that memory's triggering for you, and your brain's sending you a signal that you're in danger, even when you're not. And so you react as if you're in danger. And so many things that happen to us in life, especially in childhood, leave us with irrational beliefs about ourselves, like, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable. And then we have emotional responses of guilt and shame. And then we get that physical feeling in our body that lets us know it's trauma. And EMDR can help take that away. Get those symptoms to clear up. It actually desensitizes that trauma and allows your brain to record it in a way that is adaptive, that you understand why you felt that way at the time. And it makes sense, and you no longer have those irrational beliefs popping up and those emotional responses to things where you can't even figure out why are you reacting in such an overreactive way. And now you'll understand why, because it was that earlier trauma. But you didn't think of it as trauma, you just thought of it as some little thing that happened to you. And even some of those negative things that are really small in life that happen to us, they can grow into big negative networks in our brain that give us these kinds of trauma responses.